Hey everybody, Lorelia here, and doing a real estate video. It's cold out here in New Jersey. So, my last video, I talked about a real estate wholesale deal that I did, and the results that I got. And I got a lot of good responses. And so a lot of times I like to do these lives based on questions that I get, even if it's in regards to credit. And like I said, in the new year, I'm going to do a lot more other videos in regards to wealth building, real estate, or what have you. And so one of the comments that I got on my last video said, how can a person get started wholesaling in real estate? And so this is a very good topic because there's so many ways to approach it. I would say the easy answer is to get education. Um, and that's why I'm always cautious about putting checks out there, or mentioning the amount of money that you can get, whether it's in real estate and credit, showing people what high credit scores or what have you, because the underlining theme with anything that you want to do in life, it takes work. But I understand there's people out there that are willing to do the work. They're willing to do the work to get the check. And so with me saying that, um, how would one get started? And I want to start with, education. And really education is based on, what you decide is best for you. I am a person who likes to speed up the process. And what do I mean by speed up the process? If there's something that I want to learn, I have no problem with pain. I have no problem with pain. Like, I know this year I'm going to invest in myself, and I'm going to learn about real estate notes. Investing in real estate notes, owning the paper on real estate assets. And that's a very specialized skill. It's not very common. And the reason why it's not common, because one, it's not fast money. It's a long-term strategy. And so you have to be willing to ride it out. But it's great benefits. And so that's something that I'm going to embark on in the new year, and I'm going to pay for the education. There's someone locally that I am going to invest in, who is going to show me how it's done. Along with the investment that I have to pay the person, I'm also going to buy my first note, because he brokers notes. So with that being said, but back to real estate wholesaling, how would one get started? I said that this weekend I went to the Max Maxwell event. My mentor in real estate is very good friends with him. He came here in New Jersey. He did a pop-up meeting at my mentor's office. And Max is a very big advocate of free information. And I agree. It's tons of information here on YouTube to help you get started in real estate. Especially if you want to do wholesaling. Now, the only problem with that is you have to know the type of person you are. And even with credit, I know with myself, I have tons of videos on here that can help a person rebuild their credit. But I also know that there are some people who are like myself, who like to speed up the learning curve. They like to be able to have someone to hold their hand. They like someone to be able to ask questions to. So if a person says, how can one get started? It's really up to you. Are you the type of person who can digest and get as much free information that you can and go execute? See, that's the whole point, is to get the free information and go execute. What I find, whether people are getting a free or paid, is that they are consuming so much information. And you got to know your personality type. I know I'm the type of personality, my personality type is that I could fall into that. I could be someone who would get a bunch of information and not execute. So that's why I know I always like to invest in someone or something so I could just go ahead and execute. Show me something and boom, I can hit the ground running. Because what happens is, as you're doing research, whether it's free or paid, you will begin to go down further and further and further and further and further and further down the rabbit hole and never get started. And that was the main thing that Max Maxwell talked about, is that, get some information and get started to get your first check. And so how do you, once you get the information, how do you now go out there and get your first check? Well, you got to decide on what type of strategy you're going to be able to pursue in order to get the lead. Because the first thing, in order to get the check, you got to get a lead. And what is a lead? That's someone who is looking to get rid of a home, to sell a home, what have you. But you need that lead. And what are you going to pursue? You need to know that. Because are you going to do probates? That's what I do. People who inherit homes. Are you going to do pre-foreclosures? Are you going to do sheriff's sales? Are you going to do bank REOs? Are you going to do real estate MLS, listings? You have to know. But at the end of the day, it starts with getting a lead. Then once you get that lead, then you need to know what type of motivation that person has, and then be able to now apply the formula, the wholesale formula that is relative to your market to see if there's a deal. Now, recently today on Facebook, there is a local person that I'm connected to. He's very good at short sales. And he was so upset at wholesalers. Because I don't know about everybody else's market, but here in New Jersey, wholesalers are getting a bad rap. A lot of people, if you tell them you're a wholesaler, they turn their nose up at you. And the reason why is because after talking to a lot of them, because I always want to know, well, why is it that you don't like wholesaling? And so I found out why. And a lot of these investors feel like many of the real estate wholesalers that get started now, they're not educated. They're so hungry to get money that they don't even understand how the process works. And that is what the gentleman was talking about in his Facebook rant, that he had some type of short sale payoff from a bank, and a wholesaler was involved and screwed up the deal. And at the end of the day, he said, not only do you jeopardize the trust in the homeowner who really thought you were going to help them with short selling their house with the bank so they can move on with life, you also messed up the deal, all because you were looking for a check. And so what does all this mean with what I'm saying? There is a process to everything. Your success in life is based on a system, and there's a system to wholesaling. So when a person says, how do I get started, is being able to, one, know what the system is so you can start to apply it. Understanding what you're going to pursue. After you know that, get a lead. Find out how motivated the person is. Are they going to sell? Then if they are, then you want to be able to apply the real estate formula that's relative to your market and see if there's a deal. Because in real estate wholesaling, that's the whole thing, wholesale. So your end buyer, who's an investor as well, is not looking for a retail deal. They're looking for a wholesale deal, meaning they're looking for something that is below the market, because they have to take in consideration a lot of them are fix and flip guys and gals. So they have to know, I got to buy cheap. I got to put money into it then I got to resell it to the open market. So there's got to be room in the numbers. So going back to what I said with the formula, do you know how to apply the wholesale formula to your market to be able to find a deal? But if I can say anything about the whole process, is to get educated. There are people that I know here in my local market, they call themselves wholesalers, and they don't know if a potential house is a deal. Like they just don't know. They don't know how to calculate the ARV. They don't know how to look up comparables. They don't know how to, how to even compare the house that they're looking to potential homes in the area. So that's why I feel like education is very important. So I want to impart on you is that if you are really serious about getting into real estate wholesaling or any endeavor in real estate, get the education. It's up to you how you want to get it, but please do it based on your personality type. Are you the type of person who can get free, who can understand it, who can digest it and hit the ground running? See, what I find is that a lot of people want free, and then they feel like since they're getting stuff for free, now somebody is obligated to now tell them the ropes step by step. I even see that with credit. You put out a lot of content on credit, people feel like you're obligated to tell them the ropes step by step. No, that's not how it goes. Information is free, but execution costs. I've said that I think a video I made about a few days ago, a week ago. Information is free, execution it will cost you, because most people can't execute, but a lot of people can. And so I want to say onward. We're in different economic times, and in the next year or so as well as next year, you're going to see a lot of changes. And I was just telling somebody today, you're going to see some people thriving, and you're going to see some people who just surviving. And my thing is this: pick what side that you are on. That is the benefit of paying. Because see, if you pay, you can pay your way into certain circles where you're going to get access to conversations and information that many of the people who are just scraping and surviving aren't going to get access to. So once again, this is Lorelia. If you're new to my channel, please give me a thumbs up. Please share it. Please subscribe. And like I said, if you are new to it, I have a lot of content. I'm not new to YouTube. I am new to this particular topic. Most of my content on this channel is in regards to credit. I have tons of videos, over 300 videos. So if you're into rebuilding your credit, raising your credit score, getting rid of debt, the information is there. I got links below this video. But if this particular goal is going to be with real estate wholesaling, I do plan to get into real estate. No, don't let this government and what you are plugged into. Until the next video, I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.